Welcome back to another episode of In the Mix podcast. I'm DJ Chucky, and I'm here with the artist Lo, which is going to talk about her journey in the art business. How are you doing, Lo?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me here.
How did you get started with art? I always ask everybody these questions when you get started. Like, when did you realize that you were an artist?
So to answer that question, I'm going to have to bring you back to when I was 6 years old. And it's a story about a three-legged turtle.
Wow,
Yeah.
I'm really interested. You had me at turtle.
So when I was younger, my mom was a nurse who she worked night shifts, and my dad was kind of like, he did odd jobs and stuff like that. So sometimes there'd be no babysitter, and he would bring me and my brothers along on jobs. And on this one particular job, he was mowing a lawn, I think. And my brothers and I had found this poor little turtle, and its leg was stuck underneath a dumpster. So we decided to bring the turtle home, and we put it in its little kiddie pool and nursed it back to health. And I was like a very sensitive child. The sensitive artist was very real in me, even at 6 years old. And every day I would go and sit with this turtle, and I would give it little leaves and try to make sure it was okay. And one day I decided that I wanted to do like a portrait and the turtle, it was missing its left leg. So we named it Lefty, which was really, really kind.
Getting close to it, because once you name it and you give her a name.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm going to do Lefty's portrait because I felt such a kinship with this little turtle. And, I got my little computer paper and pencil, and I did what I consider to be a photorealistic portrait of this turtle.
At 6.
Yes, in my memory, I was like, this is amazing. Like, it was like perfect.
Best work yet.
Yes, exactly. So, but actually, like in reality, it really was like this sort of like, I was like, wow, like I made this, and I was drawing. I don't know if you've heard it's called like drawing from life. Like that's what we say in art school. Like I'm drawing from life. So it was Lefty was the first thing that I ever drew from life. And after that, I would just, all day long, like look around my environment. I would draw everything I saw, and I had all these little sketchbooks. And as time went on, that came into my school years, and I sort of created this, or I had this identity as artist all throughout, middle school, high school, and eventually I went to Pratt Institute in Brooklyn. And I studied art there, and it was an amazing school, very rigorous program. Everybody who went there took themselves like very, very seriously. And I did too, but it was, everybody had this sort of like mindset of like, we must make statements, and they must be like really impactful, and like these big reflections on our society. And like, I think that is great, and there's like room for that. But a lot of the stuff that was like being produced in a way was like kind of negative, kind of dark. And after a little while, I felt like I just want to like make something fun. I want to make something that makes me feel happy. Like, can we just do this? Can you walk into a room and smile when you see a painting? And that was not what was going on in the program.
Yeah,
so
it was too preachy. It was like too like I had to have like some deep meaning every piece of work.
So I was like, I'm going to paint some of the things that made me happy when I was a kid. And that was like, I painted like cats, rainbows, sparkles. And in like a very serious art program, it was a bit of like I was poking fun at everybody. And I think, thankfully everybody in my program, they got the joke, and like it was a play on my environment a little bit. But it honestly, it left me with when I was making work like this, it was like I was, drawing Lefty again for the first time. I was like, it was bringing me back to this sort of childhood type creative energy. And once I graduated, I knew that I liked these themes of like having a sense of wonder and playing with art and having these sort of like, making happy art. I knew that was my goal and my niche, but how do you put the concept of play onto a canvas? It's like a difficult sort of thing. So it's kind of like a heady-ish type concept.
Yes.
So I felt very uninspired for pretty much like 12 years. I made art, but it was never like that. Like, I was like, yes, this is it. Like, I did the thing I'm trying to do. Like, it was always just kind of not doing what I wanted it to.
Yes.
And then once I moved to, life went on. I worked a lot of jobs. I moved to New Jersey. I got married. I had my son. And I've been spending my son is a year and a half old. And I've been spending a lot of time with him and sort of seeing, the world through his eyes. And for him, like, everything in his environment is play. The most ordinary, mundane objects, these are just, they're fun. They make him smile, they make him laugh. And, I just sort of got a fresh set of eyes, and I was like, this is actually like a really great thing. Like, can I make some kind of art out of this idea?
Something fun.
Right.
Yeah.
So almost cosmically, the Payphone project like came up and fell into my lap, and I was like, this is so perfect for what I want to do.
Wait, hold on. Hello? Lo.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about
yeah.
this because I was looking at, we were walking around the building, and then we came across this piece of art, and we were just like shocked by the color of it, and it made you feel so warm, so good. I don't know how to explain it to you, and I didn't know it was your work.
Oh, I'm so
But
glad.
I want you to tell me a little bit more about how this came about. It's called Reconnect or Reconnected?
Reconnected, yeah.
All right, and why phones? And tell me a little bit about this project, because this is the only one that I've seen, but I know there's others with different themes.
Yeah.
But we just passed by and we just wanted to touch it or take a picture with it, like be part of it. The colors were so inviting. How this come about?
So Midtown Elizabeth, they're doing a beautification initiative in, the area here in Elizabeth, and they hired me to paint 8 payphones in the area. And, piggybacking off of what I was saying about my son finding, mundane objects and turning them into play and turning them into these and having fun with them. The payphone is like the perfect vessel. I mean, they're left on the side of the road, they're overlooked, they were just there. And now adding art to it, it becomes really fun where you walk by and you have that big element of surprise, like, wow, like who made this? Why did they make it?
Yeah.
So the project is called Reconnected, and it's called that for multiple reasons. One, we physically used to be connected physically to a phone. So I'm saying we're reconnecting with this phone. And as I paint the phones, people come by and they'll say, they'll tell me about their memories attached to these phones. And I'm like, just by painting them alone, you reconnect the people with their memories of the phone usage.
Yes.
And then, to keep it going even further, when you have it be like, it's something fun, it's playful, you pick it up, and all of a sudden you're an adult playing, you're reconnecting with that childhood feeling of sort of that joy and wonder in the world. So, the title there works in sort of multiple facets. And I could keep going on like how the design works, or
I just you were telling me that there's 2 things. There's one of them is that before the interview you were telling me that some of your artist friends are like, don't you feel it difficult to work with so many people around? Like you're in the middle of the street and people just, don't you need your space to be creative?
Right.
And you were telling me something that really made me think about that. Like your artist friend was telling you, were you annoyed by so many people around you? And you were telling me the opposite.
Yeah, the complete opposite. So So one of the things that I'm like, I've been, I guess like really, I didn't know what to expect, but was very surprised by was how awesome working out in like public and painting in public and talking to all the people, and people are like so excited and they want to give me input and they want to tell me their stories and they want to talk about the art with me. And I just didn't expect so much like input and positivity, and like it's just been a really, really like honestly wonderful experience. And I realized that this sort of concept that I have of like using your imagination and play and like that childlike wonder, like all that kind of stuff, it can happen with people who are viewing the phone in the process while I'm painting it on the street. So one of the things that happened with this phone in particular, this was the first phone I did. And I very accidentally, I didn't know, but I had chosen the busiest location. It was across the street from a bus stop. People hung out there all day. I was talking all day. And I was just like, okay, this is what it is. And people had a lot of ideas on like what they wanted me to do. And I was like, it would be really cool if I could actually take some of these ideas and reflect them back, you know, put them on the work. And then these people that are here all the time, every day, they can see themselves in the work.
Yes.
So like the eggs and bacon here, there was a man that I talked to a lot. He was usually hanging out all day. And, you know, I asked him, what's your favorite breakfast? And he said, it's eggs and bacon. And I said, okay, I'm going to put it right here for you. Well, he helped choose the spot so he could see it every day. So that was like the first introduction into getting someone's input directly.
Yes.
And then down here, there's this cereal bowl that has alphabet cereals, like Cheerios that have letters.
Yes.
There's tons of people's like initials, their names are just kind of hidden in here, and they know when they walk by the phone, oh, there's my initial, there's my like contribution to the phone. And that the community engagement part keeps going. I keep finding new layers and new ways to get people in on it, but it's just been such an amazing part of this that I was like, oh my gosh, what a perfect way to have the project be successful before it's even finished.
And be part of the community like that there's real people that were there when this was being made, and
Right.
they are part of the making of it. They're part of the artwork.
Right.
That's incredible.
Right. And in that way, they are a part of the greater beautification initiative. Like their direct words are affecting the final results. So that's part of the larger project, but this is, you know, a smaller part of the initiative.
I love it. You were telling me also that it was a long journey to get to where you are now.
Yeah.
And I know when you're an artist and you're creating art, it can be, you know, a crazy journey. And you also told me that you've had different jobs, like odd jobs, like different types of, you've done it everything.
Right.
Can you list for me all the jobs, the things that you have done to get to where you are now, and how that shaped the way you think now? Because being through a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
like you were telling me one of the jobs that was really hard, being through a lot of stuff, it just shapes you in another way, and it shows in your art and in your life. What are those jobs that you've had to try through?
Yeah. So this is, mind you, this is like 12 years of work experience. And I lived in Brooklyn for 13 years.
Whoa.
So I was there for a long time. My family lives in New Jersey, and that's why I'm back here. But for the work experience question, I've done everything. I've delivered pizza for Domino's. I used to teach painting classes. I worked in art studios. I spent years as an art handler, like installing very complicated work. I have a scaffolding license. I can build scaffolding 40 feet in the air and install your artwork. I don't want to do it. It just was like I was going with it. Things were happening. I used to drive trucks like across the country to like deliver art to people. It was a lot. So towards the, and all that stuff was really fun. And eventually I had to be like, okay, I want to start a family sometime soon. I need to sit down. Like, we need to sit down. We need to get behind a desk. So I had several different jobs. Like, one of them, I was a exhibitions manager, which was really fun. Another was, I was telling you, I was a project manager at an art consultancy firm, getting like work produced and installed for like big businesses like Amazon and L'Oreal and Marriott hotels and like all these different places. And I learned so much at every job I've ever done. But the truth was that no matter how hard I tried and no matter how much I wanted to excel and be the best at what I was doing, I couldn't ever totally achieve it because it just what I'm actually good at was making art, was painting. Like, I went to school for painting. I shouldn't be handling multi-million-dollar projects for like these like major companies, like, and I did, and it was great. Not really. It was really, really hard. And
You said you had to be there 2 hours earlier than anybody. You had to overwork yourself. Like,
I was working 2 hours early. I was working 3 hours late. I was working Saturday. I was working Sunday, just trying to achieve something. And it was kind of like, what are you doing? Like, go do the thing that you're good at, that you love to do. That's not going to feel like a slog trying to get to work every day. So I'm very happy to like be here now, and I'm only, as I was saying before, I'm only like 3 months in, so it feels really good.
Oh man, just looking at your art, for us, it feels really good that you decided to do this. And here in the city of Elizabeth, New Jersey, it's actually injecting the city with a different type of vibe every time you see one of these phones around. And it's you that's making that happen. Do you choose the design yourself, or do they tell you, oh, we need this type of design for this phone, or it's just random?
So for the most part, there is like a collaborative element to it. So this phone, so each of the phones has a title of a greeting or a farewell. For the most part, I choose which greeting or farewell it's going to be, and that was sort of the idea. Was for me, how do I say it? So you know how like words, like, you might be somebody who believes that like words hold energy, they create energy.
Yes.
So imagine the amount of energy the amount of words that's been spoken into this phone piece and the amount of energy that this object contains. So I said to myself, I was like, how do I draw that out? And so I was like, what are commonly used phrases? And there's greetings, and then there's farewells. So I chose Good Morning for this, and I sort of figured out how to make it collaborative. Now, there's another phone. It's a Haitian and Jamaican phone, and so it's outside of a restaurant called Jerky's. I don't know if you've been there. So good. Oh. The owner requested this phone to like. It's called the Sac Passe and Sac Passe and Guanam phone.
Okay.
So that was like, he chose that. I said, of course, like, this is outside of your business.
That's what they say, wagwan, good morning. Like, these are terms to say hello or greet somebody.
Yeah, exactly. So he chose that, and I'm sort of here to like, how do I put that on a phone? So one of the things that I did with that one in particular was I was like talking to people on the street if they were Haitian or Jamaican. I said, what kind of imagery do you think of when I say this? Like, what do you think would represent your culture? And so I heard a lot of stuff, and I made a video for my Instagram. And I showed, like, in the video I showed, mangoes or hibiscus or tropical leaves. And I said to my followers, which the followers are mostly people I meet on the streets here. It's a brand new Instagram. There's like 200 people. And I was like, what a cool way to like transfer the people that I'm meeting they're all here on the internet with me. It's not like it's a big platform, you know. It's like,
Yes.
so I can interact with them and engage them even further in the project
Yes.
through my Instagram page. So for that phone, I made a video that I just described, and people commented on like what they wanted to see. Someone said they wanted to see a red hibiscus, so that phone has a red hibiscus on it, and now that person's going to know that was there for me. I helped design that, so they get to sort of engage in that way. So I think your question was, am I sort of choosing the designs? And it's like, yes, I am, but like not in every circumstance.
Yes,
And that's an
yes.
example
Like,
of one where it's
the
sort of,
community is feeding the whole process
Right,
of
right.
the decision making.
right, exactly.
And just so this was this was a phone case, and this was a phone case. Like in a way,
Oh,
they
yeah,
look the
yeah.
same if you look at it really, but this was the real hard case
Yeah. That's,
that we grew up with.
yeah.
Is there any other things in your art work other than phones, or this is mostly that you're just focusing on phones now, or?
I mean, this is like my hyper focus. Like, again, like I hadn't really made in several years. I did one mural in the Vintage City building, and that's actually how I got this project. But otherwise, I now, like, now that I got it, now that I've been moving, I feel inspired, and I am really excited to pursue. I have an idea of like making a painting that goes with each phone theme, because I just feel so good about the project, and I'm like, why not make some paintings out of it?
Yes,
So
yes.
that's going to be in the future, but this is really what I'm doing now.
We're here with Lo in the Mixx podcast. I wanted to ask you if there's people that want to go see or check out your work. Is there like a showing that you had or a show that you put together, or where can they go and see your work, or is it online, or if there's a space that you can go and see what you do?
Right. So the best way to see the work that I'm doing is on my Instagram page. It's lo.mcdermott. That's the best way to see everything. But the artwork is out there on the streets. This one was like getting repaired. We put it in a show in the Vintage City building, and it's going to go back out. On my page, I will have a map that shows the spots that the phones are in. So if people want to go see in person, they can. But they're mostly just on Broad Street here in Elizabeth. Yeah.
How does the city of Elizabeth has helped you in this project? What's what they have facilitated for you, or anything that it's a highlight from the city?
A highlight from the city. I mean, giving me the opportunity to do the project is like huge. There's been a lot of support. They've really like used their own platforms to share the work that I've been doing, and it has felt like really collaborative and really supportive. And I've been saying, I said I've worked a lot of jobs before, so I've worked with a lot of people before, and this one is like, it's just so nice to like hear like, all of the thank yous and the positive reinforcement and everything that's coming from like the Midtown Elizabeth group. So it's been really wonderful. They did do the Midtown annual car show event.
Yes.
They had me as almost like a vendor in a way at that, and we had a payphone and we painted it. It was an autism awareness payphone, and all of the kids in the city were welcome to come paint the phone. I had, a bunch of different colors out. And then there were families that came, families that have kids with autism came, and the kids with autism painted the phones. And it was just like a really beautiful and like moving moment, because I think a lot of the times when we think about community engagement, we think about like physically painting the phones.
Yes.
I was like, I can't do that with all the phones, but like at least for this one, we actually got, kids painting it, and that was something that like the city essentially helped me with. It's hard for me to organize something like that, but they did that for me, and it was really special.
That's incredible. What do you see in the future of your work? Things that you hope to do, or projects that you have in the back of your mind? Because we have this piece of art now, but I know that your mind is always going. When you're an artist, it's like, okay, what's next?
Yeah.
Do you have anything that we can expect to see from Lo in the future?
Definitely those paintings that go along with this. But I would say the sort of like the themes of, like a sense of wonder and play and adventure and those sort of base themes. As long as I have creative control, those will always be there in all of the artwork that I'm going to make. And I'm going to keep trying to explore how to do that. And the thing that has really changed me and like opened my eyes and inspired me is really this project, the public aspect of it, the fact that people can engage with it. And I spent my life making art alone and essentially playing by myself. And now I've realized, I was like, I can collaborate, I can play together. It could be me and my friend making some artwork.
Yes.
And it really can be anybody, because we have the internet as a tool, which is just really like, I don't know perfectly what it looks like, but I know that this is a major element, because I can spark those feelings of imagination and play and joy and all those things in the process of making with somebody, instead of waiting for the final product to be finished to get there. So during the process, the artwork becomes successful, and my messages get across. Like as I'm making it, instead of like in the end.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know what it looks like. It's gonna happen that way
What I
though.
like about this is what you said before, that you felt that the art was getting too muddied with a lot of things behind it, and you wanted to bring back the fun, and then you wanted to bring back the like the nature of it without such a big like concept behind it.
Right.
And I like it because you could show like whenever you see this type of work, you don't have to think too much, but it takes you back somewhere nice, somewhere
Yeah.
good. Breakfast, oranges, like, and the colors are so like, like a beach. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's so light. It makes you feel some type of way that is positive. So I really like that about your work, and I want people to go and check out all the rest of the phones. They're here in the city of Elizabeth, New Jersey, but I know that your work is gonna be all over the world. I mean, it's gonna touch a lot of people because of that. So I want to tell people where they can find you, social media, and a little bit more about you and what you are going to be doing, just so they can follow you and grow that community that is
Yeah.
being part of this art.
So you can find me at Lo.McDermott on Instagram, and you can follow the journey. I still have, I think, 5 phones left to paint. So usually you'll find out where I'm painting for the day and what I'm doing. You can follow along with the stories, and check out sort of like the final project reveal videos.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, you can be part of the whole process.
Right,
like,
right.
Live, because when you're
Yeah.
painting them, you're posting your.
Right, and I'm saying come out and say hi, and then we can talk about the art, when people come by. So.
Oh, there you have it. This is the In the Mix podcast. Today, we just met a wonderful artist who created this beautiful piece of art and others. Her name is Lo, and she's here with us. Please follow her. This is In the Mix podcast. Thank you.
Thank you.